with Jen Owen. We're at the Flourish Center, and we're really excited to talk about the Flourish Way Experience today. So Jen, can you tell us a little bit about you, the Jen Owen behind Jen Owen NP, Flourish Integrative Medicine? Tell us a little about yourself.
Sure. I'm Jen Owen. I'm a nurse practitioner. I'm an herbalist. I'm a pelvic bowl healer. I've been doing natural medicine since about 1992. Started out in herbal medicine and then realized pretty quickly that it was hard to be an herbalist in Indiana in the 90s. Decided that I needed a career that was going to actually pay the bills. So I was choosing between being a dietitian and becoming a nurse, and then looked at like the dietitian class schedule, and I already had a bachelor's degree at the time, and I was like, I don't want to do that. So I decided to go to nursing school, which ended up being a really good decision. I love nursing. Being a nurse, worked in the hospital, did night shift. The whole time I was still gathering information on herbal medicine and doing herbal consultations on the side. Then registered nurses can't diagnose or treat anybody legally, so just knew pretty quickly that I wanted to become a nurse practitioner. Did that, got to work in what's called functional medicine clinic in Indianapolis for a couple of years, and then decided to start my own practice in Indiana. There I did basically integrative medicine, regular conventional medicine with functional medicine, functional medicine is like using specialty testing to really dive in there and get to the root of the problem with people, and then using supplements for treatment most of the time. So then I learned how to do holistic pelvic care. I came out here to Portland actually and got trained with Tammy Kent how to do holistic pelvic care, and then brought that back to Indiana, did that too. For several reasons, we decided to move to Portland. I sold my practice in Indiana, came out here, was doing a lot of pelvic work first, and then about 2 years ago, expanded back into a full integrative medicine clinic, and then a year ago, added primary care. So now in primary care, integrative medicine, holistic pelvic care. As you can see, I do a lot of herbal medicine, and supplements as well, and also medications and other things. So whatever the person needs.
Amazing. We're so glad you're here. We're so glad to be a part of this community. What does Jen do on the weekends? What are you doing outside of the center? What sorts of things do you enjoy?
Well, normally I love what's called jam grass. It's a modern day form of bluegrass. Some of the bands that we like a lot, my favorite band's called Railroad Earth. There's a great band called Green Sky Bluegrass. I love Billy Strings, is an up-and-coming artist that a lot of people are starting to hear about. So normally when it's not COVID, we are going to festivals and concerts. We usually hit 3 concerts a month or so. That's our big fun. But nowadays I spend a lot of time doing jigsaw puzzles. I love to solve problems, so the jigsaw puzzle gives me an outlet for that. I like to do hula hooping. I do a lot of hooping outside. I love to hike. I love to do gardening. When I own my own house, I usually have really extensive herb gardens. Right now I'm renting, so I'm not growing much because I don't want to have to move it more than anything.
Yes, definitely. That would be a challenge. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. We love to know a little bit more about you behind sort of the center aspect of what you do. So we're here today to talk about specifically the Flourish Way Experience. Can you tell us what this is and what really inspired it?
Sure. Yeah, that's so exciting for me. I had been asking, I do a lot of meditating, and I just am like asking the universe, like, okay, what's my next step? What am I doing? I do a lot of journaling. I had been asking for a while, like, how can I bring all my stuff together? How can I support people in this big picture way in all aspects of their lives? And what would that look like? And nothing came and nothing came. And then 2 years ago, I had a vision for my center, which is what I'm building right now here in Portland, where I would be the practitioner and other people would come in. And that feels really good and is very exciting. And I love being able to work in this collaborative environment, yet it still isn't helping all the people that I really want to help in my mission of empowering women in all aspects of their lives is pretty much my mission of my life at this point. So I was just looking at my journal. It was like the end of June this year. I call them downloads. I just got this huge download of how to do it, how to bring it all together. And what I've learned through my work with holistic pelvic care and then adding in energy work that I've learned along the way with that process is that most of us we're still us inside there, but we're just piled on with what the world is giving us and feeding us and telling us about ourselves and telling us about how we should and we shouldn't be. And everybody's exhausted from that. And when I work with women, especially with the pelvic bowl work that I do, I find that we unravel these layers, and then the true self starts to come out again. And then she can actually go and be who she's meant to be in the world and do the things that she's meant to do. And most of the people, I also do business coaching, and I find that they're just so disconnected from purpose, from peace, from themselves. And so the Flourish Way Experience is a 3-phase pathway that we go down, where I chose these words really carefully. There's unwind and unlearn, which if you look at the definitions, I was just reminding myself of the definitions of them, and I don't know them by heart, but you think of a knot and you're unwinding what is in there and what you're holding on to that probably isn't even yours. It doesn't even belong to you. It's other people's stuff. Then we're unlearning the old patterns and the habits that we've gotten ourselves into, and all the different things that we have taken on as ours that aren't necessarily serving our greatest good at this point. So we go through every aspect of your life, your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, social, sexual, financial pieces, so 7 parts of each phase, and we unwind and unlearn all the different things that go with that. Then the second phase, after we've done that and you're like a clean slate, then we're going to restore and replenish. And that, I use those words because we're restoring you back to who you are. We're restoring good habits that you actually really want, but you're not doing them. Like, I won't even get into examples yet, but so doing that and then replenishing you. So we're going to talk about herbs. We're going to talk about how to make your own daily infusion of herbs. What are the supplements that you might need? I'm not your medical practitioner in this, so everything I give you is education. So of course you need your own healthcare provider, unless you are my patient, which you're welcome to do it. And then it's easy because I can give you medical advice because we're established together. We're going to be talking about your sex life. That's a big one that people are just really struggling. And everyone's like, oh, COVID, it's such a great time. You're home alone and all the sex. I don't find that to be true. Like with anybody I've talked to, it's like we've all become roommates. We're in roommate mode with our partners, and that makes it difficult to shift gears into that more sensual place. We'll be talking a lot about that. Financial aspects. Money is a huge stressor. Most of us have a lot of money blocks, have a lot of reasons why we're not making more money, we're not accepting more money into our lives, why we're getting into debt. We're going to talk about that. Then the last phase is expand and emerge. And I love those words because you're you and you've got all this stuff, I'll just call it on top of you. We're going to take it all off, help you replenish and restore it so that you can come out into like whatever the you is that's next. Whatever you're wishing for your life, I'm hoping that you'll get there through this process. So that's and it really came out like there's 3 phases. This is what it is. And then I'm using all the tools I've learned to help people get back to what they're supposed to be doing.
That's fantastic. I think we can all certainly benefit, especially after the year we've had, from all of those highlight words that you mentioned. I think that's really powerful and special, and definitely something that we all really need right now. When you talk about energy and clearing blocks, what do you really mean? What does that look like for those who don't have a reference for energy work?
Yeah, and it is a challenge. When people don't have a reference, there is definitely a learning curve. I would use it more, I think the best example is your gut feeling. When you know, like, this isn't right for me, like you just have a knowing. If you were to stop a second and feel that in your body, you could feel the energy of that knowing in your body. So next time you're like, get a red flag, like, oh, this is not what I want this to be. You find it. Close your eyes and like scan your body, even if you have to start with your toes. Is it in my toes? Is it in my knees? Is it in my pelvic area? Is it in my belly, heart, throat, head? Where is it? Usually you can find it. And most of us, it's in our gut because it's our gut feeling. You literally can feel it in your gut. So that's an easy way. And then, when I'm working with people with the pelvic bowl, your pelvic bowl is like you have a bowl that sets inside your pelvis, and then all the energies of your female organs inhabit that bowl, and they all have specific energies. So you're going to learn all of that stuff in the course too, like how to work with your ovary energies, which sounds crazy, I know. Believe me, when I learned this, I was like, what is this crazy thing these people are talking about? But it's really true. So so
I think something that I really admire about you is that everything you teach, just like you said, everything you teach is tried and true. And when you first experienced this or encountered this, you kind of thought, what is this? I don't know. But you've been working on this for so long, and I just really appreciate that you've done the work yourself. So you didn't just type up a program and putting it out there.
Right.
You've done it and you're doing it, and I think that's really powerful as well for the camaraderie that you're building in this group. One of the first techniques you mentioned in reference to the Flourish Way experience is pelvic bowl healing and connection, and you've talked a little bit about it already. But what does that look like? That sounds kind of like an intimidating thing. So I just want to break down that barrier here so that people don't feel confused about what that might look like.
Sure. Yeah. Well, holistic pelvic care is actually a massage technique. Again, I'll mention my teacher again. I always want to honor my teachers who've taught, I did not come up with this. This comes from Tammy Lynn Kent. She wrote a book called Wild Feminine. If anybody is just curious and want to check more about this, her book is like a textbook for women in general, in your body, and anyone with female organs, actually, not gender specific. You got female organs, you've got these powers inside of you. So what holistic pelvic care is, it's literally an intravaginal massage technique where we're combining that with breath work and visualization. So people are like, massage in my vagina? Like what? Yeah, there's actually physical therapy for the pelvic floor already. And what Tammy found was that people were having emotional reactions when she was doing their physical therapy on the pelvic floor. So she took a lot of time noticing what kind of a reaction they were having, where it was inside their pelvic bowl, and then she developed this whole technique. So in my office, I work with women in that way, which is really powerful. And what I found though is we can take those same visualizations, meditations, the energy work, and we can do it without the intravaginal massage and be almost as powerful. Now, if you can get the technique, I highly recommend it for every single female on the planet, because it's really unique, and it's hard to explain it because you've never had it and we don't have anything like it, so it's hard to explain. And we can do a lot of the same work. I hold meditation circles online. I've held them in my office. I've worked with people one-to-one online, and so it's totally possible to learn how to do this work within yourself. And this is an empowering program. I want you to take the tools away that will sustain you. This is not about like me doing something to you so that you get the effect. This is me teaching you how to do this thing for yourself so that you have the tools for the rest of your life to be able to do and connect.
That is powerful. Thank you for explaining that a little bit more in a little bit more detail. What is anything required of us besides the logistical aspect of signing up for the Flourish Way experience? Is anything required of us before we embark on this transformational experience?
Well, this is a program you're going to get what you put into it. So you could just kind of willy-nilly go through things and get some benefit for sure. If you really want the benefit, then I would suggest really setting the intention to do all the different activities. They're not long. I've planned every single module to be around 10 or 15 minutes. These are not 2-hour things. Then you do the work, and then showing up on our connection sessions, especially the connections on Mondays on Zoom, because that's when we're going to get to talk. You're going to get a chance to talk about your experience. You're going to get a chance to get coaching from me directly. I'm going to help you reflect on what's happening. And so many things are going to come out during those sessions that wouldn't come out if we weren't getting together and meeting. So showing up, of course, you don't have to show up every week. That's partly why I've made this a 1-year program, because some of the aspects, there may be one module that you get into and it brings up things that we're going to be helping you process through for a few weeks. So I don't want anyone to feel like, okay, I've only got 8 weeks and I've got to rush through. This is supposed to be a spacious, immersive experience where you do a thing, we share, we talk about it, we help each other through it, and building a community of people so that you've got support during this process. Some sections you might not even need very much. You'll want to go through everything, because I find the things I think I don't need are generally the things I need more than any of that, which I've had to learn the hard way. So
don't we all?
Yeah, it's basically sign up and show up. Is what's asked of you.
Fantastic. What can women expect from joining this experience and going through it? And in the end, what can we expect our end result to feel like or look like?
It's a good question. What do you want to look like and feel like? That's really it. It can be what you need it to be. So I can't tell you, I don't know what you're experiencing right now. Now, most of the people who work with me, I find that they're feeling exhausted, yet they can't sleep. They're, I think I say it in one of the things, like wired and tired at the same time. They're having difficulties connecting to their purpose. They know there's more for them. Their job isn't fulfilling them anymore, but they're not sure where to go from here. I find that a lot of people I work with are just having trouble finding balance. Like one area of their life is going really well, and then other parts aren't. And so they should be happy, but they're just not. Like there's just something off. And then also with I work a lot with people around sex and how it's hard when you've been with someone for a long time and how to keep that intimacy going. And then the pelvic bowl stuff is super powerful for opening yourself more up to the energy of your partner and enjoying it more and just having more fun in general. Like everybody, I just am mesmerized at how little fun we're having right now as a society. And yeah, I know it's hard. I know it's a wild time. I know all those things. Yeah, I'm still having fun every day. It's a mission. It's part of who I am. I've just decided that I'm here on earth to have fun. And so I want to have fun in this program too. This is not supposed to be like, oh, it's all so serious and hard. I want you to see how easy it can be to move the old stuff out and become who you really want to be. So knowing, you don't even have to know all of it, but I know you know a few areas of your life where you're like, I wish this was a little different. I wish this was a little different. Those are important things to write down in the beginning because those are going to be your focuses. And then stuff's going to come out that you're not even expecting because that's just how it works.
I'm so glad you said that. I don't think there's anyone out there who doesn't want to have more fun in their life. So that's amazing. Jen, how do we stay connected beyond the designated year platform? We're going to spend a year building this community and camaraderie and having these amazing group sessions. And how do we maintain that?
Yeah, there's going to be a renewal. So, you're not just out. We're keeping it a year mainly because, first of all, we want to encapsulate the work. We want to give you a time frame to do it because I don't know about you, but if I don't have an end point, I don't do things. So it feels important. It also feels important for it to be a long experience, and then it'll be important to allow you to stay with the group. So we're building a community. It's a membership in the community so that you can be a part of what we're doing forever if you choose.
Jen, thank you so much for your time today. I know I'm really excited to be a part of this, and we just look forward to growing more in the Flourish Way experience. And again, thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you for interviewing me. I really appreciate it. Bye.